on Fridays. He's so nice to join us. He's the guy who writes the coastal commuter column for the Marina Times. He hangs out there at his office on Polk Street, the Royal Ground. He is someone who knows so much about the world of movies, music, and culture. He calls himself the Culture Blaster. He comes to us in a blast of sunshine and a rainbow. Michael Snyder, everyone. Michael Snyder. Hi, Michael. Hello, Michael.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Yeah.
I know it's Liberation Day. I feel freer than I've felt in a long time. And in fact, speaking of which, it's also day 4 of the reopened post-pandemic California. How exciting.
Yeah. Have you done anything special?
I can finally go out wearing a protective mask after carefully cutting a hole in it, which is absolutely.
Wow. You really want to make a point, I guess.
It's invigorating.
Yeah.
I got to tell you. By the way, on my way here, I saw, what an amazing sighting, a 5-foot-tall woman in an Amazon uniform getting into her delivery truck. Shortest Amazon ever. I encourage you.
I get it.
Young
because
woman.
Amazon. Yeah. Okay.
Fine,
yeah.
whatever.
All right.
Hey.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's very generous to give him applause on that. All right. Yeah.
You want to talk movies? Let's talk movies.
All right. Tell me what I can see.
Okay. We'll kick it off with the Sparks Brothers. They may not be superstars, and you may not have even heard of them, but Sparks is an amazingly durable musical act comprised of brothers Ron and Russell Mael. These guys are, I'm going to use a big word, prodigiously inventive.
Yeah, prodigiously, absolutely. It's cleanly a ding.
They're delightfully eccentric. They're L.A. natives, and whoever they choose to play in their ensemble, that's Sparks. And they've been at it for over 5 decades and show no signs of stopping. In fact, a steady drip, 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 which is the title of their 24th studio album, 24 studio albums since their recorded debut in 1971. This one was released last year to favorable reviews, and they just put out a new track, very hypnotic, Your Fandango, in conjunction with Todd Rundgren, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. And maybe you'd recognize them in a photo. Singer Russell has this curly do and generally in the old days, embraced glam rock duds, very androgynous. And the keyboardist and the chief composer, Ron, his brother, has always been slicked back hair, vintage businessman's attire, and a mustache that evolved from this provocative Chaplin Hitler look to kind of a less controversial pencil-thin one. And they're the subject of this detailed documentary, The Sparks Brothers, which features copious interviews with the brothers and some of their famous fans. We're talking Beck, Neil Gaiman, Jason Schwartzman, Patton Oswalt, members of the Go-Go's, Depeche Mode, Erasure, Sex Pistols, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, archival footage, studio and performance footage, whimsical animation to illustrate their career. This was directed by Edgar Wright, who is the UK filmmaker who made Baby Driver, Shaun of the Dead, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Very witty guy, and he brings that to bear here. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's kind of lengthy, but there's so much to their career, and their work has been so influential and eclectic over the years. I mean, British Invasion power pop, cabaret-styled art rock, Euro disco, new wave, proto-EDM, and lately, like even Steve Reich, Philip Glass minimalism, that this is fascinating, and their dry wit is a treat. It's a real treat. On a personal note, I have to tell you, I was doing an article on them a couple decades ago and met up with them early one afternoon for Belgian waffles at the famous farmers market in L.A. And they both look like they're stage personas. Ron came by himself, but here's the rub. Russell was accompanied by a beautiful woman, his girlfriend. She was wearing black leather, jacket, pants, and boots, and had a French accent. But, considering the waffles, maybe she was Belgian. But there they were, the epitome of rock and roll. This is opening in selected theaters today. The Sparks Brothers, highly recommended.
Wow, you really liked it. And along the way, I would add copious gets a ding, please. And I would also add eclectic would clearly, I think, be in a, So 3 dings so far for Snyder, who's really coming in hot. Likes the Sparks Brothers documentary. What else do you have?
Okay, the usual extensive loving care went into the making of Luca, Pixar's latest animated feature film, and it shows with a lot of visual flair in the setting and the action. But this is one of the studio's lesser efforts, despite coming after last year's incredibly ambitious, sophisticated, award-winning, and memorable soul. So Luca introduces a prepubescent male sea creature named Luca, voiced by Jacob Tremblay, who feels oppressed by his conventional human-fearing underwater family. So he meets a disgruntled young sea creature named Alberto, voiced by Jack Dylan Grazer, and decides to follow this guy's lead and give life on land a try, even though sea creatures are feared and hunted in the sunny 1950s era Italian seaside town where they end up. But luckily for them, it just so happens that when sea creatures dry out, they assume human form. So now they appear to be two prepubescent boys, and they vow, this is their big mission, they're going to acquire a Vespa scooter and take off to see the rest of the world. But how are you going to acquire a Vespa when you're a changeling? Well, they could win this annual kids triathlon and use the prize money for a Vespa. So our heroes meet Julia, a very human girl who's summering in town with her father, a very gruff fisherman, and she wants to defeat the local bully in the triathlon because he cheats. So the two human-looking boys who need to avoid water or their true sea monster selves will be revealed. They befriend the girl, team up for the triathlon. I mean, the little girl actually exclaims, Santa Mozzarella, when she's excited, and invokes other cheeses as well. I mean, talk about cheesy humor.
Oh, I was not going to say it. I can't believe you said it. All right, go ahead.
I don't know. But as for the look, it really captures the pastel beauty of a Mediterranean seaside town. But the character designs are very un-Pixar-like, and the best way I can describe them is that they kind of recall Aardman style. Aardman makes the Wallace and Gromit films and did Chicken Run, and I almost expected to see Wallace and Gromit to show up. And by the way, Santa Mozzarella, they love cheese. So anyway, this could have been better, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot here. The boys' quest, sea monsters versus humans, the girls' rivalry with the bully, family matters. But it's like putting too many toppings on a pizza. You can't enjoy the flavor of each ingredient. And despite the cultural sensitivity certain to be coming from a director with the name Enrico Cesarosa and with various Italian name voice actors, there's kind of a whiff of stereotyping to this. Maybe
a whiff?
Maybe this is... I'm trying to be kind here.
Wall-to-wall stereotyping, from what I can tell.
Listen, screenwriters are Jesse Andrews and Mike Jones. Typical Italian names. Yeah. Anyway, there's just not the depth one comes to expect from Pixar. Depth, like Under the Sea. Yeah. We're in Nemo and Dory, for instance. Anyway, lovely to look at. Odd, overly stylized character designs, but Pixar sets the bar so high. If another company had released this, it might feel more impressive. By the way, Maya Rudolph, Jim Gaffigan, and Sacha Baron Cohen voice Luca's fishy family. Luca, available on Disney+. It's a family thing, but mostly the kids are going to relate to it. It just doesn't have that sophistication of earlier Pixar.
I see. All right. Yeah. We need like a Snyder scale or something, because sometimes, you'll start on these things and I go, that sounds like, it would be, like medium. It's like medium heat. You're not, but anyway. All right.
I was disappointed in it. Let's put it that way.
All right. Go ahead. What's next?
All right. Product placement aside, and there's even more of it here than the Vespa stuff in Luca. Wish Dragon, the new feature from Sony Pictures Animation, is a very well-made, high-spirited, modern-day take on the Aladdin fable that moves elements of the classic tale to a contemporary urban Chinese setting, which explains all the billboards depicting actual brands and products. I mean, I got to say, communism aside, China seems pretty high on capitalism these days. Anyway, Wish Dragon is the story of a college kid named Din who lives with his mom in a working-class neighborhood and yearns to rekindle his relationship with Lina, a feisty girl who was his bestie in childhood, until her father made some serious bank. Dad and daughter move on up, and Lena's now an influencer model type, very prominently displayed on some of those omnipresent billboards. And Din stares at them, and he's crushing on her and longs to be part of her world. See what I did there? Yeah, a little reference to The Little Mermaid, huh? Anyway, but his chances are very slim until he's bequeathed a mysterious teapot by a weird old guy and learns that the pot is kind of the jackpot because it contains a wish dragon named Long who can grant Din 3 wishes. Maybe wooing this girl-turned-supermodel of his dreams won't be such a stretch with a magic dragon on his side. But dark forces, of course, want to get their hands on the teapot before Din can use it. Wish Dragon is long on rollicking action and some very sweet moments addressing the value of family and friendship. I really liked the look and the rhythm. It's not as languid and scattered in its message as Luca. It's a simpler thing. And the voice actors, including Jimmy Wong as Din, Constance Wu as his mother, and John Cho as Long the Dragon, are very appealing. Conventional, doesn't take risks, unlike Pixar at its best. But screenwriter-director Chris Applehams does a dandy job of making Wish Dragon a really good diversion for kids and their families. It's available on Netflix.
Wow. Yeah, you kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And, yes, languid does get a ding.
Okay.
Go ahead.
One more. Dream Horse is a crowd pleaser, a feel-good movie about a consortium of people from a small, economically strapped Welsh town who, led by an ambitious barmaid whose husband has been reduced to couch surfing and ignoring her, pool their resources to breed a racehorse. The fate of the horse they end up with, named Dream Alliance, in a tribute to the kind of motley ownership group, makes for a pretty rousing film. Brett, do you have a question?
Brett, you probably want to know if this is
based on a true story.
Is it based on a true story, Mike?
Oh, baby, it is. This is the second movie inspired by the same true story, and it's actually a charmer with a very fine lead performance by the ever-terrific Toni Collette. Supporting work from Damian Lewis of Homeland as an office worker who knows a bit about the racing scene and brings his money to the consortium, and a group of really good character actors playing the quirky townsfolk, their horses' hired trainers, and the wealthy rival horse owners whose steeds usually win all the time. But I say usually, with the little tip of the hand, it's uplifting stuff, and who doesn't love to root for the underdog or the under horse in this case, directed with a very sure hand on the reins. See what I did there?
Oh, yeah.
By Euros Lynn, who's a veteran of British TV shows like Sherlock, Broadchurch, Black Mirror, and Doctor Who, and also did Marvel's Daredevil. I recommend Dream Horse, available for rental at Fandango Now, Apple TV, Prime Video, and Vudu.
Wow. So there it is. Dream Horse, available for rental in all those places, which you liked. Uplifting.
Yep.
Yeah. Wish Dragon, which you thought was also okay and good family entertainment.
Very so.
Yeah. Luca, which is on Disney Plus, and this is a quote, I was disappointed. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I don't want to say anything bad about, Pixar.
No, but the reason you had noted along the way in your review is that you feel they have set the bar so high at Pixar that you felt that this doesn't clear their normal bar. Right. Would that be a fair way to characterize your sentiments?
Right. This lacks the kind of sophistication of soul.
And the Sparks Brothers, the documentary, I'm encouraged and enthused by your enthused. Your enthusedness has enthused me further than my enthused was already, and it was already piquing my enthused. Are you following me? I'm super enthused to see the Sparks Brothers documentary.
All right.
Before you leave, you're a mega Giants fan. I have 30 seconds. What a week it's been to be a Giants fan.
It's exquisite. They have the best record in all of Major League Baseball. They're leading the division, the National League West, I think 2.5 games over the Dodgers when I last checked, and like 4 or 5 games over the Padres. Teams they were supposed to lag far behind, and everybody is stepping up. One man down with an injury, somebody else shows up. The starting pitching has been great. Thank God Mike Yastrzemski's got his stroke back, baby. That grand slam home run that won the game the other night. Oh, my God.
Unreal. It has really been cool. I knew you'd be psyched. He's a Culture Blaster. You can find him across social media on YouTube and on Twitter and elsewhere at Culture Blaster. He joins us on Fridays. He's Michael Snyder. Bye-bye, Michael.
So long, boys.